students, and yesterday some students have told that like my voice is not clear. So once again I'll give the gist of fourth unit and then I'll start next topic. Okay. Now yesterday I have discussed regarding the discounting, and let's see what do you mean by discounting. Discounting is nothing but what in India the financial services sector is developing at a faster rate. So has to meet the emerging needs of the economy, many innovative schemes have been introduced by this sector, and one such area wherein it has been introduced is book debt financing. That book debt financing is also known as discounting. So another name of discounting is book debt financing. Book debt financing is nothing but what? See, whatever the things you are going to take on a debt, so that things will be recorded in the book of debt financing, so that the dealer will come to know regarding how many products you have taken, how much amount is due, so that he can collect the amount in a later period of time. So that is the meaning of what? Book debt financing. Financial institutions try to extend their financial assistance to large cross section of the trading community through book debt financing. A kind of book debt financing is already practiced in India by the commercial banks. It is nothing but bill financing. Bill financing is what? Bill financing is nothing but what? See, whenever you take the bulk products or whenever you sold goods on credit, so they'll be giving you the bill. So now here, suppose if you are not able to pay the complete amount while taking the product, so you have an option of making the payment in installments. Like suppose your bill amount is 50,000, you want to make the payment of 30,000. So for remaining 20,000, they are going to give you the due bill. So that is called as bill financing. This type of financing is done either by way of direct purchase of bill of customers or discounting them. So now bill of customers are nothing but what? So as a customer, I want to take the product. So now here I am going to make the payment, half of the payment. Suppose my bill is some 40,000, I want to make only 20,000. So for remaining 20,000, the dealer is going to give you the bill. So that is called as bill of customers or discounting them. Discounting them is nothing but what? So suppose if you take the bulk products, the dealer is going to give you the discount on that particular bill. Suppose your bill is 40,000, so he may give you, if you pay 80% of the amount, that is 30,000 if you pay, so remaining 10,000 you have to pay from 40,000. So he may give you the discount on that if you pay the more amount, that is 30,000. Instead of paying 20,000, if you pay 30,000, he is going to give you some 2,000 or 1,000 discount. So that is called as discounting. Clear? So this is regarding discounting. Let's see regarding the financing. So already I have sent you the notes, go through that. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Factoring. So next topic is factoring. Factoring is nothing but what? A lot of working capital is tied up with the form of trade debts. So collection of debts, especially for the small scale and medium scale companies, is the biggest problem. The average collection period has been on the increase. Delays in collection process turn leads to liquidity problems and consequently to delay in production and supplies. The particular situation in India is that the number of small scale units are catering to the requirements of the single large buyer. This large buyer is always known for the attrition in paying his small suppliers. So now here only in the factoring only one dealer will be there. He'll be called as the large dealer. So from that large dealer, one particular buyer will be there. So only single buyer will be there. He is going to take the products from that large dealer, and this buyer is going to take the products, and this buyer is going to supply the goods to the different areas. So wherever the need arises, so he is going to supply the goods to that particular area. So the mainly factoring is nothing but what? Whenever you give the products to the customers, so here this factoring will assign one factor Factor means he is be called as an agent. So this agent will be working on behalf of the dealer. So every time dealer cannot come to you and cannot collect the amount from the customer. So what he'll do, on behalf of him, he is going to assign one factor. That factor will be known as agent here. So now here agent is going to play an important role for collecting the amounts, bill, invoices and everything. So whenever the transactions takes place regarding the goods sold, now the agent is going to play a key role and is going to collect the amount from the customers. So now after collecting everything from the customers, now that agent is going to get some percentage. So that percentage directly after collecting the amount from the customers, he is going to take his percentage and remaining amount will be remitted to the dealer here. So it will be called as a factor under factoring here. So this factoring is derived from Latin word which means get things done, right? So it is derived from Latin word which means getting things done. So now whatever the pending works are there, whatever the balance amounts are there, and whatever the pending bills are there, whatever the pending invoices are there, here to collect all those things, he is going to appoint an agent. He will be called as factor. So he is going to play an important role and he is going to collect everything from the customers, those who have taken the products from his dealer. So now everything will be taken care of by the agent instead of dealer here. Only dealer is going to supply, but everything will be taken care of by the factor, that is agent. So this is regarding factoring. And the next mechanism for factoring we'll see. So under mechanism you will be having three things, that is the buyer, the seller, the factor. So now here we'll see what actually the buyer will play the role here under factoring. Buyer negotiates terms of purchasing the material with the seller. So whenever he want to take the products from the seller, he can have an option of negotiate the price, whatever the goods he wants to take from the seller. So he is having an option of negotiate the price, ask for the negotiation. So if the seller is okay with that negotiation, then he is going to give the products to the buyer. Next, buyer receives delivery of goods with invoice and instructions by the seller to make payments to the factor on due date. So now this buyer is going to receive the delivery of the goods with the help of invoice. So without the help, without invoice, he cannot take the delivery of the goods. Only with the help of invoice, he can take the delivery of the goods, and some instructions are given by the seller to the buyer regarding the payment. So that payment he has to make before the due date. So if he is going to fail to make the payment before the due date, again that seller is going to charge some extra amount from that particular buyer. So always seller will give the instructions to the buyer to make the payment before the due date. Okay. And buyer makes payment to factor in time or gets extension of time, or in the case of default is subject to legal process at the hands of factor. So now here, after giving the time also, if the buyer is not able to make the payment before the due date, so now here the seller is not going to play any role on behalf of him. That factor will play a key role here. I told you factor is nothing but what? He is called as an agent. So now this agent is going to collect the amount from the particular buyer. If is going to fail to make the payment before the due date, agent has every right to file a case against that particular buyer. So the buyer has to take care of those things. He need to make the payment before the due date. If he is not going to make the payment before the due date, the agent has every right to file a case against the seller. Clear? Next, under seller we'll see memorandum of understanding with the buyer in the form of letter exchanged between them or agreement entered into between them. So now here the seller, what he has to do before delivery of the goods, he need to take the MOU from the buyer. MOU is nothing but what? Memorandum of understanding. So memorandum of understanding is nothing but what? It is an agreement. So what he has to do? he has to make an agreement that after taking the delivery of the goods, before taking the delivery of the goods, they will write the agreement that before the due he need to clear all the payments whatever he has to do it. So in that it is clearly mentioned that how much advance amount he has paid and how much amount is remaining. Everything will be there under memorandum of understanding. So this memorandum of understanding will be signed by both the persons, by the seller and by the buyer here. Now sells goods to buyer as per MOU. So here is going to sell the goods only as per the MOU. So without the MOU we cannot sell the goods to the buyer here. Next, delivery copies of invoice, delivery challan, MOU, instruction to make payment to factor given to the buyer. So now here as a seller he has to give delivery copies of invoices, delivery challan, MOU, instruction to make the payment to factor given to the buyer. So now before taking the goods he need to take all those things. So here the seller is going to give all those things to the buyer. Next, seller receives 80% or more payment in advance from factor on selling the receivable from the buyer to him. So now I told you, instead of 40,000 he is going to make the payment of 80%. So remaining 20% will be due. So that 20% will be collected by the agent on behalf of the seller. Seller is not going to collect directly. He is going to collect, the agent is going to collect remaining 20%, and it is responsibility of the agent that amount should be collected by the seller on before due date. So now he has made the 80% payment, the remaining 20% the agent has to collect from the buyer. Seller receive balance payment from factor after deduction of factor service charges, etc. So now here, after making 80% of the payment by the buyer, remaining 20% will be collected by whom? The factor. So the factor will be called as agent. So now this agent, what he'll do before remitting that particular amount to the seller, he is going to deduct some service charges from the particular 20% amount. Suppose that 20% in the sense 40,000, 30,000, take 80%, and remaining 10,000 is there. In that 10,000 he is going to deduct some service charges based upon the percentage, and remaining amount will be remitted to the seller here. Next, we have seen under the buyer and we have seen the seller. Now we'll see the factor. I told you factor is nothing but agent. The factor enters into agreement with seller for rendering factor services to it. So now before collecting anything they'll write an agreement. The seller and the agent are going to make an agreement, and they are after making the agreement only the agent is going to render the services to the seller. One receipt of copies of sales document has referred to above make payment to seller of the 80% of the price of the debt. So now here, whatever the goods are delivered by the seller, that copy should be maintained by the agent here, because he should know the details of the customers, how many customers are, how many goods are delivered to the customers, and how much payment has made by the customer, and how much remaining amount he need to collect. So whatever the documents are maintained by the seller, the same copy will be maintained by the agent, so that he can able to collect the amount from the buyer. Next, the factor receives payment from the buyer on due date and remit money to seller after usual deduction. So I told you in the previous point, what he'll do after collecting the amount from the buyer before the due date, while remitting the amount to the seller, he is directly going to deduct the charges, service charges, and remaining amount will be given to the seller here. The factor also ensures that the condition should be met to give full effort to the factoring arrangement. So conditions should be made giving full effort to the factoring arrangements are nothing but what. So whatever the whatever the agreement they have written, based upon that only they have to make the payments and they have to collect the payments, and whatever the percentages are given to the agents, that should be mentioned in the books of accounts clearly. So this is regarding mechanism for factoring. Next, I have explained modus operandi. That notes I have given you, the same points will be repeating here. And next, the terms and conditions in factoring agreement we'll see now. The first point is assignment of debt in favor of the factors. So now, assignment of debt in favor of the factor means like whatever the task he has to perform, that all those things you should know carefully. How many customers are there, how much amount he has to collect from the customers. So that terms and conditions he has to follow while collecting the amount from the buyer, and while submitting the amount to the seller also he should follow some terms and conditions, like selling limits for the client, condition within which the factor will have resource to the client in a case of non-payment by the trade customers, circumstances under which the factor will have resources in case of non-payment. So whenever the seller is not going to make the payment, I told you he has every right to file a case against the seller. Detail regarding the payment to the factor for his services. So now whatever the percentage he is going to get as an agent, now they should be clearly mentioned in the books of accounts, so that he'll come to know the clear picture. The seller will come to know the clear picture, how much percentage he is going to give to the agent, so that he'll come to know how much amount he is collecting and how much amount he is going to pay to the agent. So that should be under the terms and conditions. He has to mention all those things. Interest to be allowed to the factor on the account where credit has been sanctioned to the supplier. Suppose like if that particular customer is not going to, is not able to make the payment, so what agent will do, he'll make an arrangement for the loan, and if the loan is sanctioned by the bank people or whatever it may be, from them also he is going to get some percentage. So here agent will get 2 percentages, one from the seller and one from the buyer. From the seller, for the services rendered to that particular seller, he is going to get that. For the buyer, whatever the services he is going to give to the buyer, for that also is going to get some percentage. So from both the sides, that agent is going to get the percentage only if he follows the terms and conditions. Limit of any overdraft facility and the rate of interest to be charged by the factor. So now here overdraft, so whatever the overdraft details are there, that should be maintained clearly by the seller, by the agent and by the buyer. So these 3 persons has to maintain a records. Seller has to maintain how many customers are there, buyer has to maintain how much amount he need to give back to the seller, and the agent, he need to maintain both the records of the seller and the buyer. So these are the terms and conditions in factoring agreement. So this is like yesterday's topic I have repeated. Now let's see the next topic, functions of factor services. Okay, now let's see the functions. What are the functions under factoring? The first function is administration of sales ledger. So administration of sales ledgers are nothing but what, how the administration is going to maintain the sales ledger. Let's see what exactly it will tell you. The factor maintains the client sales ledger on transacting a sale deal. An invoice is sent by the client to the customer and the copy of the same is sent to the factor. The ledger is maintained under the open item method. The customer account clearly reflects the various open invoice outstanding on any given date. The factor also gives periodic report to the client on the current status of his receivables, receipts of payments from the customers and other useful information. Now here the exact meaning of this is what, nothing but what, administration of sales ledgers are nothing but what, here this ledger will maintain an records of transactions, so how many payments are there, how many receivables are there, and like whatever the details regarding that particular transactions are going to be maintained under the administration of sales ledger. So with the help of sales ledger, he'll come to know whatever the transactions are going to be taken place by the customer, like day wise, monthly wise, weekly wise, they are going to maintain the records under sales ledger. Provision of collection. Next point is provision of collection facility. The factor undertakes to collect the receivables on behalf of client, relieving him of the problem involved in collection and enables him to concentrate on other important functional areas of his business. This also enables the clients to reduce the cost of collection by way of savings in manpower, time and effort. So now provision of collection facility is nothing but what? Here I told you the agent is going to play important role here. So now here, if he is going to appoint only one agent, he'll be responsible to take care of all the things, whatever the transactions are there in the seller's account. So now here it will reduce the savings in manpower, time and effort. So because everything he'll come to know and everything he is going to maintain, so we cannot wait for other persons. Agent will know the complete details of that particular transaction. So here it is going to save the manpower, time and the effort. So that is the reason why most of the dealers, they are going to appoint only one agent instead of appointing two or more agents. So that is the meaning of what? Provision of collection facility. And the next point is financing trade debtors. Financing trade debtors are nothing but what? The factor purchases the books debts of his clients at a price, and the debts are assigned in favor of the factor that is usually willing to grant advance to the extent of 80 to 85% of the assigned debts. The balance 15 to 20% is retained as a factor reserves. So now here financing trade debts are nothing but what? If any debts are there, like debts are nothing but what? Whatever the amount which the seller has to collect from the buyer, so that remaining amount, whatever he has to get, it will be called as debt here, right? So that debt will be, he is telling you that 80 to 80% of the assigned debt, the balance 15 to 20% retained as a factor reserve. Factor reserve is nothing but what? I told you, factor will be called as agent here. So now that's 15 to 20% is going to be credited in the agent account, and remaining 80 to 85% that is directly credited to the seller's account. So now it is their responsibility that whatever the debts are there, that they have to collect in time, and they have to take the amount from the buyers here. So that is the meaning of financing trade debtors here. Now the next point is credit control and credit protection. What do you mean by credit control and credit protection? This service is provided where debts are factored without resource. The factor in consultation with client fixes credit limit for approved customers. Within these limits, the factor undertakes to purchase all trade debts of the customers without resource. There are two important benefits to the clients. So now credit control and credit protection is nothing but what? Now whatever the credits are given to the buyers, or like buyers are nothing but what? The customers. So now here credit control and credit protection is nothing but what? Here